Hey y'all, I'm Corey, the founder of Bounty&Bliss. If you saw part one, then you already know this isn't just content for me. It's me finally putting language to the ways I lost myself, abandoned myself, and how I'm now trying to come home to myself. In this part of my story, the pattern of sacrifice got louder, and I kept starting over for everyone but me. In Columbus, I tried to create the magic of the LA chapter of Mocha Moms, but the truth is, it wasn't the same. The energy was dry. The women were very, very surface level, and there was no depth, no creativity, no fire. They met once a month in a church playroom and called that community, and that just wasn't enough for me. One of the moms even told me, "You came in like a bull in a china shop." And I said, "You bitches ain't no damn china. Y'all more like old Tupperware." But I stayed. And when things shifted in leadership, I ended up becoming the president of the chapter. And I poured everything I had into rebuilding something real for me, for the women who remained, and for our children and families. And you know what? I was thriving again. And it wasn't because anyone gave me a chance, but because I built something that felt meaningful. And then I had a job at United Way through one of those Mocha connections, and it was perfect. It was aligned, creative, community based. I was making moves and meeting people and feeling like myself again. And then my husband got a job offer in Seattle, and I cried because I didn't want to leave this life I had finally rebuilt. But I packed up because that's what I did. And Seattle was isolating. There was no Mocha Moms chapter, no black radio, no real infrastructure for black families, and you could barely find a barber or beautician who knew how to do our hair. But my uncle's niece, although we didn't have that much in common, was incredibly kind and gracious. And she introduced me to her village. And through her, I made a few genuine connections and built some real friendships. And we decided to join Jack and Jill together to expand our community. And through those connections, again, I landed a job at Amazon, making the most money I'd ever made, doing the least stressful work I'd ever done. But at home, my husband was miserable and my son was being bullied by racist kids at school. So when another opportunity came up, this time in Dallas, we decided to go. And honestly, I wanted to go too because I had grown up a military brat and I never lived near family. My family is in Dallas, so I got to visit for holidays and summer breaks. But I wanted my kids to have something that I never had, which is roots, a village, and a relationship with their grandparents on a regular basis. And my parents also needed me. My mom had just been diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, and my dad had just gotten into a car accident and gotten a DUI. So even though I had finally found my groove again, I left and I told myself, okay, this time things are going to be different, but they were not. I couldn't find a job. And I went through round after round of interviews, made it to the final stage more than once, but I still didn't get hired. And honestly, I was paying the price for all those years I'd spent leaving jobs to follow my spouse. Every time I started to gain traction, I had to uproot again. And now, when I was finally ready to build something of my own, those gaps, those pivots, and those sacrifices, they caught up with me. So instead, I became a substitute teacher and started working on my teaching certification and told myself I was doing the right thing, the stable thing. And I kept trying to finish that damn certification. But every time I sat down to work on those classes, it felt like my soul was screaming. And not because I couldn't do it, but because honestly, I didn't want to. Still, I kept holding on to the idea though, because I had already invested so much time into it. And because in the back of my mind, it felt like the break in case of emergency option, you know? And the reality is, I still haven't finished it. And it's not that I can't or couldn't, it's that something in me refuses to keep pushing for a version of that life or a version of my life that drains me so fucking much. But the pressure is still there. And my finances say, girl, you need to finish. And the desperation whispers in my ear and tells me to play it safe. And the part of me that's always been the fallback plan, the good wife, the responsible one. She keeps trying to take the lead, but this time I am not letting her because I realized I am not failing at life. I just spent most of it pausing mine so everyone else's could keep moving. So this time I'm choosing to bet on me, even if it doesn't look logical on paper. And even if the money hasn't shown up yet and the safety net isn't finished, I just know that I've sacrificed enough for everyone else's vision. And now it's time to stop abandoning mine. And that choice to bet on myself wasn't a magical turning point. It was messy, uncertain, and lonely. And when I couldn't figure out what to do next, I escaped into books, into silence, until finally 2 books and a handful of affirmations pulled me out and gave me a vision. And I'll tell you how Bounty and Bliss was born in part 3. Don't forget, drink your water, mind your business. Have a blessed day. Love you. Bye.